Our global business editor, Udayan Mukherjee, joining us now to discuss all that action taking place in the markets. And the big one, of course, is the transformational merger, as it's being called, between HDFC and HDFC Bank. Udayan, that really came in out of nowhere, taking the markets by surprise. But clearly, they're reacting positively to the news.
Yes, Abha, the first reaction has been terrific and expectedly so. But the news came out of nowhere, you correctly pointed out. But I think for HDFC Limited, the writing was always on the cards, because for a time, the Reserve Bank of India has been indicating that large NBFCs either scale back on their size or they actually go in for a transformation into a bank. And I think for HDFC, the path forward was always to get into a banking kind of a situation, given the RBI guidelines and the nudging. So it doesn't come as a surprise directionally in that sense. And I think the bigger beneficiary of this merger is probably HDFC Limited, because on two fronts. One, of course, is the fact that the cost of funds for HDFC as an NBFC, as a housing finance company, goes down quite a bit, because HDFC Limited, HDFC Bank has recourse to far cheaper funds. So I think HDFC, the housing company, actually benefits quite a bit because of access to lower cost funds. Also, there was a minor issue of succession at HDFC Limited, because KK Mistry was almost nearing 70, would be soon. And there was a lot of grapevine talk about who would succeed him or not. And I think now that the merged entity will have Shashi Jagdishan, the HDFC Bank CEO, as its CEO, some of those uncertainties related to succession also vanish. It is less clear what it means for HDFC Bank, because we'll have to see how this merger pans out in terms of management transformation and all transition, and also whether the housing finance book continues to grow as fast as HDFC Bank's original retail and corporate book. So the answer is not that clear-cut for HDFC Bank, but I think it's unequivocally a positive for HDFC Limited. And technically, while the management clarifies that this opens up more headroom, and both these stocks are FII favorites, mind you, and therefore that is an important technical aspect, whether foreign institutional investors can buy more of the merged entity or not. I think the management feels that there is more headroom available, but we'll have to see what it means for the MSCI weightage for the merged entity HDFC and HDFC Bank, and whether that is beneficial or a bit of a hampering factor for the merged entity. So we'll get more clarity on the technical and fundamental aspects, but I think HDFC Limited comes out of this deal the clear winner.
And what about markets, Udayan, going from strength to strength, in the sense that they seem to now be back in the throes of it, with momentum back in play?
Well, it's been a remarkable comeback. Frankly, of course, today's rally is led by the HDFC twins, which has led the Nifty back to 18,000 and the Sensex to 60,000 again. I'm frankly a bit surprised that the markets got back to those kind of levels quite so soon. Because while the market may have digested the war news and that is no longer a driving factor, I think there remain quite a few uncertainties with regard to where the price of crude, inflation, the interest rate situation, the raw material and the margin situation for Indian companies and earnings growth therefore. So I think this is still a sticky wicket for the market, and it would be still a brave man who believes that we will not go back anywhere close to the lows that we touched in the first quarter of the year. So fingers crossed, but it's been a remarkable comeback. And with so much swirling around in the world in terms of uncertainty, it is quite something to see the market within 4% of an all-time high once again. I think it's come sooner than what most people would have expected. So it's best to enjoy it while it lasts.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.